Hello, BookTube. I've been wanting to talk about my library and my plans for my library in 2025 over the last few weeks. I've also been meaning to ask for some advice about my library. So, what better way to talk about my library and to ask for some advice than doing a tag about bookcases and bookshelves? So today I'm going to be doing the Shelf Respect tag. This tag was created by History Lit, and I saw it on Steve Donahue's channel, so I'll leave links to both channels in the show notes down below. And of course, if you would like to do this tag, you're tagged. So, prompt number 1. How do you organize your books on the shelves? So, my library is divided into two rooms. In my bedroom, I have my manga collection, and they are shelved on four bookcases with five shelves still empty. In this room, my library is divided into sections by genre or whatever the hell classics, modern, contemporary fiction, poetry, drama is. So in front of me is my history collection in three bookcases. One of them is a bookcase stacked on top of another one. And then the spillover is behind me. There's a tiny bookcase, the sibling to this one here. Over there, behind me are two shelving units that houses my science fiction and fantasy collection. And then over here are two bookcases that house my classics, modern, and contemporary fiction, poetry, and drama. I also have a bookcase that is 2/3 filled with my cookbook collection out in the living room. So, my manga collection is in the process of being reorganized. But I think I'm going to wait until I have Bleach completed before I do that, because I'm currently in the process of collecting Bleach, and once I know how much Bleach is going to take up, I'll be able to know roughly what else is going to be able to go on that shelf, and then I'll work it out and maybe film about it, talk about it later. So, my classics, modern, and contemporary fiction, poetry, drama collection are alphabetized. My history is organized by sort of category. And my science fiction and fantasy has no organization right now. Although I did alphabetize them at one point, but that has gone out the window after various moves from there to here to back to there. It kind of fell apart. Oh, and also having new windows put into this apartment. My science fiction and fantasy collection is, yeah. Anyway, it's nuts. Question number 2. Have you ever merged your collection with your significant other? No, nor have I merged my collection with any blood relation. Question number 3. Do you write your name and or the price paid in your books? No. I do have a catalog of my library that I started several years ago and have added to ever since. So my library catalog is organized by... So the first books are books on writing. And then I have classics, modern, contemporary fiction, poetry, drama, science fiction, fantasy, and history and other nonfiction, grouped alphabetically until I get to, I think, my art collection, my art books, and my cookbooks. And then they're organized as they come in. And then at the very end is my manga collection, which is alphabetized. And I had the document where it would be like numbered. Unfortunately, in having to switch computers, the most recent books that I've added to my collection, I have not been able to number. So it's like there are spots where it's annoying. Anyway, I'll have to figure out some way to either correct that or just get rid of the numbering system. Prompt number 4. Do you keep all of the books you've read or only the most cherished? So, I'm of two minds on this, and so generally speaking, I can be quite ruthless at times with my collection and with purging my collection, particularly if I have fallen out of love with a genre. My reading life can be described as being dominated by periods in which one genre or another or kind of book or whatever the science classics, modern, contemporary fiction, poetry, drama is. Like they'll dominate my reading. They're not exclusive, but they dominate. That's what I'm thinking about. That's more of what I'm buying. But I also routinely fall out with them. And when that happens, after a while, I will quite ruthlessly purge them all from my collection, whether I like them or not. I did that to my mystery collection. I did that to classics, modern, contemporary fiction, poetry, drama. I'm gearing up to do that again to science fiction and fantasy, also to Agatha Christie again. So I can be quite ruthless with that. But then I do also sometimes come to regret having got rid of them, although that's very rare. But at the same time, I do have quite a few books that probably, in the grand scheme of things, I probably really should not be keeping, but I am. I know this answer is probably a bit confusing, but my thoughts on this is in flux right now. Prompt number 5. Does the style and quality of your bookshelves and or cases matter? No. My bookcases are quite diverse in what they look like. And while I would like to have a more uniform style of bookcase in which I can get a lot of books on there, I'm actually quite pleased with the variation of what I have. Although I would like to have some better quality, because when I moved apartments, I ended up losing most of my bookcases, or a good portion of my bookcases, and that hurt me quite a bit. Both in sort of putting my books up, but also in the fact that I had to buy more bookcases. Question number 6. Do you have any gripes or complaints about bookcase construction? Yes. I'm not particularly fond of the fact that some bookcases, even the ones that are quite expensive, are fairly flimsily made. Particularly given that I am quite inept at putting them together. I do wish I could pick up bookcases and stuff from curbsides or find them ready built, but I don't really have all that much luck. I have been pestering my brother about that because he and his wife do like to go looking for stuff on curbs, and they have found some interesting things, but unfortunately not no bookcases. Question number 7. Do you ever stack books horizontally? On occasion, if I have no other option. So, right now, looking at the bookcase in front of me and to the side of me, I don't have enough room on this bookcase here for my ancient history collection. So the Persians is sort of on top of some of them. I also have 2 ancient histories down here that are sort of on top of books. And then I have this bookcase that this computer is on has 2 large shelves with 2 smaller shelves sandwiched between them. And unfortunately, I ran out of smaller history books to put there, so I have some larger histories sort of stacked on top of each other there. Which is probably why this bookcase here is actually really much better from putting my manga collection on. Although I also had a bit of an idea too, which I will talk about in a little bit. Okay, where are we at here? Okay, question number 7. So questions number 8 and 9 are about book jackets and covers, both liked and disliked. I'm going to sort of skip these 2 and progress to question number 10. Is there such a thing as too many books? Yes, there is. You have too many books if you have run out of space for them. You have too many books if you are accumulating far more books than you are reading. You have far too many books if you feel like you have far too many books. But at the same time, if you don't feel like you have enough books, well, you don't have enough books. So go out and buy some more, or get some more bookcases if you need to. Although, try not to have your entire house like one gigantic library. Although that actually is kind of neat too. So anyway, okay, so now we get to me asking for some advice. So right now I'm in the process mentally of gearing up for another major book purge. This year I got rid of 190 books. The year prior I got rid of about 100. So in 2025 I'm going to get rid of probably roughly the same number, I think. My initial idea was to focus quite heavily on science fiction and fantasy because the prose form, because I'm just not interested in it. My passion for it is gone, despite the fact that I'm still very much reading a huge amount of science fiction and fantasy. My entire manga collection is science fiction and fantasy. I creatively think in terms of science fiction and fantasy. It's just science fiction and fantasy short stories and novels have not done it for me for years now. So I've been thinking quite seriously about doing a massive purge. And this weekend I had a bit of a revelation, which I will talk about once I think I've looked at the feeling and see if it sticks. But I'm also thinking I'm going to be preparing for a massive purge of classics, modern and contemporary fiction, poetry, and drama. Now, a lot of that is fueled by the fact that I am running out of book space. And even though I do want to do a major purge, I also want to have the ability to expand my collection if I want to. And so in the manga room, I have enough room for 2 to 3 bookcases, depending if I want to cover up my closet door. If I do, it'll be 2. If I don't want to close up my closet door, it'll be 2. If I don't care about closing up my closet door, it'll be 3. But what I want to focus on is in here. So I've been thinking seriously about replacing these shelving units with other kinds of bookcases. My thought has been my inspiration is the bookcases and shelving units you see in bookstores and in public libraries and school libraries that are they're in the middle of the floor rather than along the sides of the wall. And they can hold, and they're sturdy so that they can be in the middle of a room rather than having to be on the sides. But I don't know if or how I would go about getting the most ideal, the kind of bookcases that I see. So is there other options for that? Could I, for example, get 2 tall bookcases and put them like back to back, and would that work, or would that be too flimsy? I also thought about maybe if I could condense that area. There is this bookcase right here because it is open. Could that work? Or get the bookcase that this computer is on, and then get another bookcase on the other side of it. Could that work? But if I did that, and if it was a smaller area, should I then, rather than focusing on this here as a middle area, go ahead and also put some bookcases to cover up this window or these windows? I'm quite fond of them, and I do like this room having some natural light. So I'm not entirely sure what I want to do, and if you have any advice, please let me know in the comments. I'll probably think a lot more about this in the next few months and just see how things progress, and maybe I'll be lucky and I can get some, or my brother will find me some bookcases on curbs, or if my sister-in-law decides she wants to go to garage sales and yard sales, and she finds some bookcases there or something and lets me know about it. But anyway, we shall see. So this has been the Shelf Respect tag. Again, if you would like to do this tag, consider yourselves tagged, and I'll be back tomorrow with the continuation of the alphabet tag reprise. So until then, thank you, BookTube. Have a great afternoon and stay safe.